Today we're taking a look at these college basketball matches, which are happening on Saturday, March 18, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comment section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comment section below. Charlotte vs Western Carolina. Charlotte was 9-2 outside of Conference USA play and 8-3-0 off in that portion of their schedule. Getting back to playing non-conference rivals, especially an enemy in a weaker conference on paper, will probably be a breath of fresh air for the 49ers. Looking at the numbers, Charlotte should have the edge on both ends of the floor in this contest. They've struggled to finish lately, but I think they'll be up by enough where there won't be pressure on strong closing possessions. I trust Charlotte to cover. Taking the over in this matchup for a couple of reasons. Both teams play well on the offensive end and rank higher in terms of offensive efficiency than they do in defensive efficiency. Charlotte tends to play slow, ranking well below average in terms of tempo, according to KenPom. However, I expect Western Carolina's fast tempo and the atmosphere and adrenaline of playoff basketball to make both teams play faster than they are accustomed to. Western Carolina has gone over in 4 of their past 5 Saturday games and in 6 of their past 8 neutral site games, while Charlotte has gone over in 5 of their past 8 games overall. In addition, when these teams faced off last year they went 34.5 points over the total set at 145.5, almost 10 points higher than our given total, making me confident in taking the over for this matchup. Our total pick is over 137.5 points. Princeton vs Missouri. I'm not sure Princeton is capable of pulling off another upset, but Mitch Henderson's boys should be able to keep it close against Missouri if they continue to work hard on the glass and play aggressive defense. Missouri is one of the best defensive teams in the country but lacks defensive awareness and mightily struggles to pull down boards. Princeton did manage to slow the pace down against Arizona and needs to do the same versus Missouri. I'm looking for Princeton to have a solid shooting performance against Missouri's D and make this game interesting to watch down the stretch. Our team pick is Princeton Tigers plus 6.5 points. Over the last 4 NCAA tournaments the under has ruled for the most part, with 2019 the exception going 33-33-1. The first day of the opening round of this year's tournament was much the same, with the under going 4-8 over the first 16 games of the tournament, with these two teams on the trendier side of the coin. It's a reasonable trend, especially over the first couple of rounds, as teams are sometimes meeting for the first time ever. In this case, it's the first time in a long time for these two Tigers, and I feel that will play a part in this outcome. Mizzou has had their last 2 games go under and 6 of their last 9. They have scored in the 60s in their last 2 matchups and have scored 66 or less 5 times in the last 9 games. The under is 3-2 in Princeton's last 5, and they have scored in the 50s twice in that stretch. Take the under. Auburn vs Houston. Quite a bit in this contest depends on the health of Sasser and Sheet. Sasser was an All-American selection, but logging only 14 minutes while scoring 5 points in the first round was less than what the Cougars were hoping for against the Norse. The Cougars struggled to pull away against Northern Kentucky, and one has to wonder if perhaps Sasser did more damage by attempting to play Thursday night. It's safe to say that Auburn's offensive production is better than Northern Kentucky's and will test the Cougars' defense more than the Norse did. The Tigers can hang on the glass and make things tough for Houston on the offensive end of the floor. Houston may win the game, but it's going to be a war if Sasser is limited or doesn't play. Take the points and Auburn in what should be a low-scoring affair. Our team pick is Auburn Tigers plus 5.5 points. Both of these teams were strong defensively this year, and neither likes to play fast. Auburn is 164th in adjusted tempo out of 363 teams in the nation, and Houston is 342 out of 363 teams in the nation in adjusted tempo. Houston's top scorer, Sasser, is also likely to be out for this game after re-aggravating his groin injury and missing the entire second half against Northern Kentucky in the Cougars' last game. Take the under 131.5 points. Penn State vs Texas. Texas has won 6 straight and 7 of their last 8. They are 6-1 in neutral arenas this season. While Penn State has been playing well recently, Texas has had an amazing season and has been red hot against the spread recently. Penn State is a tough and rugged team, but they don't defend the 3 well, while Texas shoots 34.5% from beyond the arc. The Horns are too athletic and will take advantage in the open court. Look for this trend to continue. Take Texas giving 5.5 points. Texas has gone under in 6 straight games and 7 of their last 8. They have held their opponent to 61 or fewer points in 5 straight. Penn State has gone under the point total in their last 2 games, and they held Texas A&M to only 59 points on Wednesday. Texas and Penn State currently rank 65th and 332nd in pace of play, respectively. Most signs point to a lower scoring affair. Look for this game to go under. Northwestern vs UCLA. This will be the 6th meeting between these programs, the last coming in 2013 at the Las Vegas Invitational. They have a couple of common opponents on the season in Illinois and Maryland. The then number 19 Illini were the first team to deal UCLA a loss, 79-70, in the 4th game of the season. The Bruins won big at number 20 Maryland, 87-60. Northwestern faces both of these schools in conference play and went 1-2 straight up against them, losing a game apiece to each school over their final 4 regular season games. Both UCLA and Northwestern were grade ATS this season, the Bruins with 21 ATS wins and the Wildcats with 20. UCLA is 5-0-1 ATS in their last 6 games, and that push versus Arizona in the Pac-12 final may be the spark that sets them off. Their defense is one of the best in the country, not allowing more than 61 points over their last 3 games and holding those opponents to 35.5% shooting overall. The 86 points the Bruins scored in their first round win was their most since that Maryland game back on December 14. So not only is their defense in postseason form, but their offense is also now rolling with the same intensity. This will be another unfortunate case of someone getting in their way. That someone this time will be Northwestern. Take the Bruins minus 8 points. These two teams put up a combined 161 points in their first round victories, but this total is insanely low due to the defenses involved. Together they allowed just 120 points on Thursday, but it seems highly unlikely that both defenses will be able to do exactly that again. So somewhere in the middle of those combined point totals, things are still on the high end. The Wildcats have scored exactly 65 points in their 3 games prior to Thursday, which would surely be more than enough if the Bruins are on. The only team to hold the UCLA offense back of late was Arizona in the Pac-12 championship game, otherwise, they have scored 75 or more points in 5 of their last 6 games. I do believe that the Bruins offense got into a nice groove on Thursday, and with just the 1 day between games, they'll be able to carry some of that momentum over. Speaking of over, it is 3-1-1 in the Wildcats' last 5 games and 4-2 in UCLA's last 6. Take the over 126.5. Maryland vs Alabama. Maryland survived a slow start to get past West Virginia, but an opening 10 minutes like they had Thursday here could put them in a hole that they would be unable to dig out of against the Crimson Tide. The Terrapins played some stout defense against West Virginia to get through, but they were helped by getting the Mountaineers in foul trouble, opening up the interior for easy buckets. Alabama hung 96 on the board with their best player going scoreless while playing just 19 minutes. Granted, Maryland is better defensively than Texas A&M Corpus Christi, but the Crimson Tide have plenty of depth, as evidenced in Thursday's win. It also helps that they are playing in their home state. Look for that depth to make the difference as Alabama prevails to advance to the Sweet 16. Our team pick Alabama Crimson Tide minus 8.5 points. Even though Alabama was 4th in the nation in adjusted tempo, the Crimson Tide was also one of the best defensive teams in the country. Alabama has held opponents to just 37.2% shooting from the field. Maryland was also 322nd in the nation in adjusted tempo, and both these teams will be playing their second game in 3 days. Alabama has been one of the best defensive teams in the nation all year, and the Tide should be able to limit a Terrapin team that was inconsistent offensively to end the year. Take the under.